Hello everyone. Hello everyone can see me. I hope you guys can see me. I hope I'm already live. Uh, my name is Henrik Karpeytan. I'm very privileged and pleased to be in part of this beautiful concert series that Riverfolk Music and Arts Organization has started. And I am pleased to present the program of folk and a little bit classical violin. I'm a classical violinist myself, and uh, I've had really mostly classical training in different conservatories and academias, but in last about 10 years or so, I branched out a lot and learned to play the violin a little bit differently. And I have to say, in both ways, it's been a very, very rewarding experience. As a classical musician, I'm a little more adventurous, maybe, yeah, and I'm also much more comfortable, in different other styles to bring my expertise in classical music. So we're going to just go ahead and start. Okay. Tune the violin. In the middle of the program, I'm going to take maybe a few minutes just to look at the comments and answer your questions or anything that I'll see, interesting that requires an answer. So I'll start the program though with a piece by Pietro Locatelli. So I'm going to start with a couple of classical pieces, just to show, hopefully, that we're not that far. Folk and classical are not that far in many ways. Locatelli was a 17th, 18th century violinist who actually really advanced the violin technique, but he's often overlooked because of the violinist that came after him, whose name was Nicola Paganini. I'm going to play a piece by Locatelli called Labyrinth. Now, don't be afraid. This is not the labyrinth of Minotaur. Yeah, there isn't going to be any scary Minotaur coming in, here in the middle. It's more like harmonic labyrinth from 17th century. you very much. I'm going to take a second just to check if I have any comments here. Something is a little bit funny about my computer here. I'm going to check your comments, making sure everything is good. I think everything looks good, just to make sure you're hearing the music. Listen to the music. Here is a piece by Johann Sebastian Bach. And this is actually called, it's called a gavotte in form of rondo. It's from his third violin partita. And it's a dance. It's also a French dance, right? The gavotte. So I'm going to play this piece, and after this, I'll change styles and play something else. So, moving on, as you see, composers comes from 17th century, 18th century, used also folk dances and folk concepts in their music. So did Beethoven when he was writing, I think, the last movement of his violin concerto, and so did Mozart in one of his last operas, Magic Flute, and on and on and on. So classical and folk really are not that far from each other. The concept of making music, of course, it's a little bit different. I feel classical music brings a bit of the ambition of the musician, while folk is there a little more for enjoyment, if we can put it this way. I'm going to play something that's right in between, I think. This is an arrangement of a beautiful, beautiful spiritual called Deep River. I deeply love this piece. And the arrangement is by Misha Elman. There's usually a piano part, but we're going to do without the piano part today. that's Deep River. So, a couple words about unusual times we're living, of course. I realize how difficult it is, not only for myself, like a musician, but for everyone. Even for people who haven't lost any work, this kind of the social distancing that's necessary for our times, obviously, has also, become very difficult for people who, in many ways, needed that. I used to play a lot in retirement communities, and I've had a chance to play just outside of a couple of retirement communities safely, when everyone was far enough from me, and see how much that 20, 30 minutes of music really meant for them. So it's difficult times for us, but this is going to pass just like anything else. So we have, as humans, as species, we have experienced much more difficult things than this. Yeah, I mean, imagine if this happened as little as 20 years ago. I wouldn't be able to communicate like this, at least, and share music. So as difficult as it is, I think we're going to get out of this soon. We will. We'll have to. And meanwhile, we'll be, I guess, for my part and my fellow musicians' part, I wouldn't say I think we'll be glad to share our experience and our learning, our music with you. So I'm going to continue with, here, to lift the spirits up. Here's a set of some American tunes, and after that I'm going to take a second to answer a few comments, yeah? It's a set of 4 tunes. First one is called, what is it called? Soldier's Joy. Then there is Cripple Creek. No, then there is Old Joe Clark, and then Cripple Creek, and then Orange Blossom Special. So, Orange Blossom Special is a tune, but then there is the Orange Blossom Shuffle that goes something like this. It kind of looks like a shuffle. It sounds like a shuffle. So I'm going to connect the 4 tunes that I'm going to play. I'm going to use the shuffle as a connective tissue, yeah, between the tunes. Here it is. much. Give me a second. I want to see if I can see the comments already. For some reason, I'm having problems seeing the comments on my right here. Oh. Apologies. Oh, there we are. There we are. All right. Angela Zanner says, thank you for the music. Thank you, Angela. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks. Thank you, Ren, for all the comments. So far, I just see, it's amazing. It's good. I'm happy that you guys like it. So I'll go on and keep my eye. My apologies for the little glitch here. My computer didn't want to cooperate here, but now it does. So we go on. Maybe I should play something from my own heritage. I'm sure you've heard an accent by now. And it's a difficult one to detect because my compatriots come from all over the world. I mean, my compatriots come to the United States from all over the world for some historical reasons that I won't bring here. But when one thinks of an Armenian accent in English, is there even such thing? There are Armenians who come to the States from Lebanon, from Syria, from France, from Iran, from Russia, from South America. There are some very large Armenian communities in Uruguay and Argentina. So there probably is no accent, but you've probably noticed one already. My first language is Armenian, and I was born in Armenia. Although growing up there, I had more like a bicultural experience, if we can use, I don't know if there's a word like that. Armenia was, for 70 years, was part of the USSR, so Russian culture and language was also very important there. But our history goes back way before our joining of the USSR, sort of forcibly joining. The oldest map in the world, it's a clay tablet. It looks like a star, 7-winged star. And it's considered to be the oldest map in the world, found in what used to be Babylon, modern day Iraq, I think. It shows 6 or 7 countries within that little circle, yeah? And the only one of them, and one of them on the right top side, actually pretty correctly positioned geographically, says Armenia. And the only country out of the ones listed there that is still in existence is the country I come from, Armenia. So very old culture, very rich culture, own language, own alphabet, many other things that are uniquely Armenian, of course. And tough history, because we're in a crossroads in the world, and whenever a tyrant would rise on one side of the world, like in the east, they had to cross to Armenia to get to the west. Whenever someone was in the west, like Alexander or the Romans and the others, they had to cross to Armenia to get to the east. So the country was very often attacked and ravaged a lot. But we survived, and so did our music. So I'm going to play a very beautiful Armenian piece. And I'll play it solo. Why am I mentioning the solo? Of course solo. Because in about an hour, maybe less, my brother Henrik Karpeytan will be playing the same piece with his wife. But he'll be playing a more, should I say, more civilized version of that piece, with the piano accompaniment and a specific arrangement. So here's a piece called Karung. I'll spell it K-R-O-O-N-K, maybe O-U-N-K. That's the crane in Armenian. It's a nostalgic song about an Armenian, well, it can be anyone, who has had to leave his country. And that was a sad reality for the vast majority of Armenians in the beginning of 20th century. Look up the history. And so he's missing his land. He doesn't even know if the village that he was born in is still existing. He doesn't even know if a house is standing there. And he asks the crane who's flying by whether the crane has seen his house. He says, "The crane, you're coming from the east. Have you seen my land? Have you seen my country? Do you have a letter for me?" And in the east, be it Far East or Middle East or Near East, like where my country is. The cranes are usually a symbol of homeland, home in general. Yeah. So the crane doesn't have a letter for him, and that's the story. Yeah. The melody of this song goes back allegedly to the 12th century, but the new meaning that it received, its new meaning relatively recently, in the last couple of centuries. Here it is. And that's the crane. What do I have next? Let's see. Oh yeah, I play some Celtic music. I haven't played in a Celtic band in the area, although all our gigs got cancelled, of course, remember when we started the quarantine in March? That's when we had all our gigs, so it all got cancelled. But I can play some Celtic music for you. I'll start with let me start with this tune. I love this melody. For me, it's been interesting as an experience on myself, how not belonging to a specific nation or group of people, I still am sometimes able to get attached to someone else's folk tune, yeah? Let's put it this way. A Russian folk tune, an Irish tune, an Italian tune may suddenly become just as dear for me as my most favorite Armenian tune, which is a wonderful experience. It's almost kind of, you're kind of transcending all the divides this way. And there is one very simple tune that you've probably heard a million times that I absolutely love, and I've my own arrangement of it. It's called Auld Lang Syne. It's a Scottish tune. Times gone by, I think it means. I know you played around New Year's. yes and no. You know, why can't we play it in other times? If it's a Christmas tune, I would say, yeah, okay, that's for a specific, occasion, for a holiday. Not this piece. So enjoy it. We'll be imitating bagpipes a little bit here. Isn't it a gorgeous tune? Even after playing a million times, I still get chills when I play that. Well, I'll continue. We're in Scotland. We may as well stay in the British Isles. Here is I'll play a whole marathon of Celtic music. It is going to start with another Scottish tune called the Cameron Highlanders. So more bagpipes there. And then I'll play a few ballads that you probably know very well. And I'll follow up with some jigs and reels. What's the difference between a jig and a reel? I'm sure there are many intricate differences. For me, when it comes to the fiddle playing, there's only one, and it's this. Let's take a measure with 4 beats, something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I subdivide each of these beats to 3 little subbeats, then 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, then I'm playing a jig. Right? If I subdivide it to 4, then I'm playing a reel. That's really the difference. And when I change bows, this thing requires a lot of chopping and hitting the strings and things like that, and I just realized I have been using a very expensive bow for that. Can't break that one. Don't want to break this one too, but this is a little bit lighter too, so it's going to help. Here it is. And that's the Celtic Marathon. Before I play the concluding closing piece today, again, I want to express my gratitude to the Riverfolk Arts and Music Organization that gave me this wonderful opportunity, and generally for the incredible work that they are doing for the artists that they represent, that they feature. Please consider tuning in for all the upcoming performances. The very first one, just in about 20 minutes. My brother and my sister-in-law will be performing as the Art of the Duo. It's a violin-piano duet, and it's going to be what we call Armenian classical music, but it's really Armenian folk music. I'm going to use the word civilized again. So folk tunes, folk melodies arranged for violin and piano format within the classical medium, I think I can put it this way. So you can hear to that performance, and then there are many more performances coming. Please tune in, please support the artists, consider donating right now and later too. This all goes to the musicians, to some very creative people who in good and bad times are there to bring music to you. And a couple of more words about music in general. We take it for granted that it's just in the air. Like you can go to a little device, open, and there's music coming from it. You can take your phone with you, earphones, and there's music everywhere. You go to the mall, there is music. Didn't used to be like that. It was difficult to hear music. It was a privilege to hear music. So sometimes when specific things are abundant in our lives, we learn to take them for granted. Not all of us, of course, but it's becoming like just like a second nature to hear music everywhere. But it is an incredibly important thing in people's lives. Imagine watching any movie in your life without music. Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense. It would probably be just better to just listen to the music and not watch the movie, in fact, if you have to choose. I remember one of my teachers telling me a story, and I actually looked it up, but it's on YouTube too, about how specific types of music, here's my classical part coming, Mozart, Bach, and Beethoven, Schubert, and some other composers. When you play their music in the presence of plants, for example, they supposedly grow faster, specific plants. Or when you freeze water, this is very interesting if it's true. If you freeze water at specific temperature, apparently the molecules of water are assuming perfectly symmetrical shape when they listen to a Beethoven piano sonata or something like that. So what I was thinking is this: if that's true, if water is getting purified when listening to good music, well, you and I, every one of us, is about 85% water, maybe more, maybe less. I've heard different numbers, but we're mostly water. Does this mean that when we hear music, we get purified not only emotionally, and psychologically, but also just physiologically? Think about that. So the healing power of music is not just a myth. It's not just the mind, it's also the body, I think. So with that, I would like to conclude the performance. Please, again, consider donating. I want to thank Riverfolk organization. I want to thank Eileen for organizing and helping me also through the technical stuff. I'm going to one last time refresh this very, very old laptop that just to see if, there are millions of things now. Well, thank you very much for all the comments. I see a lot of praise that I probably don't deserve, but I truly appreciate all of this. And as a last concluding piece, I'm going to do a little set of some klezmer tunes. So this is the Eastern European Jewish tradition, dancing tradition. And I'll play 4 tunes in a row. A hora, a slow hora, a chosidol, which is a man's dance in Ashkenazi music tradition, and 2 bulgars. Thank you very much for listening. This was Henrik Karpeytan. very much. I'll see you soon. Have a good evening, and please tune in for the next program. Thank you.